This comes down to the simple fact that the department has always said that local government should work closer together for the overall benefit for tenants and applicants. Absolutely support that. But we cannot forget that these recommendations were approved by Tynwald and can be implemented by the department at any time. So what I'm actually saying is, if the government wants to put pressure to put Onchan commissioners in this hypothetical regional setup, then realistically they should come out and be honest and say, at the back of this, we may have a firmer arrangement in the future.
Should local authorities have more of a control than they do? For example, housing authorities, Onchan, for example.
Well, I think that the place to deliver social housing is on the ground in the local authorities. The government's role, and this is something I've repeated right the way back to 2012, the government's role is one of a regulator, an oversight.
Government doesn't want to lose too much control, though, does it? It never has.
Well, I have no problems government setting the policy, setting the standards, setting the rates, the rent setting. I have no problem with any of that. But local government should be allowed to get on and run that social housing. Government should not be a housing provider. I think we're all agreed on that. So it's a case of how the government steps back from being a housing provider, how local government steps up to the plate and delivers that housing in the future. My concern about Onchan's housing, and again, I've got to be careful, I'm not stepping on the toes of the duties of the commissioners, but as a national politician, I'm really concerned that what could happen as a national policy, that Onchan is then taken into a more firmer arrangement of a housing authority called the Eastern, which will include Garth and Braddon.
So you concern Onchan could be punished for being perhaps more successful in its housing than other authorities?
No, where this comes from, and this is a national policy, so it's not a local issue. This is a national policy.
You keep saying national, you're convincing me.
No, well, it is, because let's be fair, if we put in place in Tynwald, which is where the highest court of the land, if they decide to accept that, to implement that recommendation from 2011, Onchan could be a single voice in a regional board and structure. So that basically means Onchan has always managed its housing on behalf of the tenants as best it can, and it's set at a board level. Now, if Onchan only has a single voice on a regional platform, it could be overruled in respect of maintenance. It could be, in respect of all the aspects of delivering that service, which Onchan is proud to do. So that is where I'm saying it's a national thing, because Tynwald could just turn around and say, right, we're now going to carry, or the department could say, we're now going to carry out that instruction.
Are regional housing boards the future, though, the medium to long-term future?
I'm not too sure.
We not know enough about it yet.
This is what I've been asking. I've been asking the same question since 2012. One as a commissioner, and now as an MHK. I think the time is right that we have a proper national policy on housing, local authority housing. Let local government run that housing. Let the department become the regulator and set the policies. But then realistically, as politicians, national politicians, we need to implement a policy that actually makes sure there's new housing coming online. The quality of the current housing is of the best quality we can. Locally, the people on the ground make sure that those tenants are serviced, making sure that everything that they need to deal with the tenants on a day-to-day basis is dealt with. That's not our job.